What is up, you absolute legends? Jed here from the Quality Venture, back again for another video. And in this channel we make content in the cycling, travel, and running scene. Recently the runner's itch just finally caught back to me again. So as we get serious into training and running, I'll be pumping more content in the running scene. So if this is something you like, please go ahead and throw me a sub and a like and comment down below. Anyway, enough of this. Let's go ahead and unbox this fresh, newly released Nike Zoom Fly 6. Let's get to it. I am so excited. Finally, it's here. I've been patiently waiting for 3 days. As soon as I found out some articles and leaked photos of the Zoom Fly 6, I was like watching it like a hawk. And then I also found out that they're gonna release a EK Eliud Kipchoge colorway, and the GOAT himself had an input on the design of this shoe. I was like, man, I gotta get this. So now we have it in our hands. Let's go ahead and unbox this, shall we? Right, so this is first time that we're laying our eyes on the EK colorway. Oh man, look at this box. Whew. It's like Christmas. Right beside me, by the way, this is my wife's Zoom Fly 6. I ordered her a pair as well. This just released a few days after they first released this on the Nike website. But the color she has is the pale ivory color. This is the only color they have, by the way, on their website. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to unbox the EK Zoom Fly 6. Here it is. And it says right here, it's just the start. This race was planted. Woohoo! This is sick. It looks so much better in person than in the YouTube videos that I've seen, even the photos. So this orange red color is actually inspired because this is the color of the gravel or dirt road in Kenya. And yeah, it says here, it's just the start. Love it, man. Love the two-tone white and orange red outsole. I think it complements each other. And the fly plate, you see it here. You know what? I want to get something. So this is the Alpha Fly 3, and look at this. Do you see any similarities? Looks almost the same, but a little bit of everything. So if the Zoom Fly 5, the Alpha Fly 3, and the Vapor Fly 3 got mixed all together, this is what it looks like. Whew. Just can't stop looking at it. I actually wanted to get the weight of this shoe. I wanted to compare it with the Alpha Fly. So let me get a scale. Okay. So for a size 8.5, it's zeroed. Let's actually do it here. Okay, it's zeroed and it's weighing at 255 grams. That's pretty heavy. I mean, it's not as heavy as other shoes, but if I'm comparing it to the Vaporflies and the Alpha Flies, yeah, definitely, because this is like just like paper. This one is $195, so 255 minus 195, that's 60 grams difference. Obviously, this is gonna weigh more because of the upper, the outsole, and the fly plate is a little bit different. Overall initial impression of the shoe, just by looking at it, I think the shoe is really nice. And it has his signature right here. So this is the first Eliud Kipchoge colorway I have. And I like it. I like it a lot. So this will not be like a super technical, in-depth shoe review. It's just an initial unboxing, and then we'll give you also an initial impression of the shoe. But here is what we know. Nike calls this a hybrid shoe. This is a do-it-all shoe. You can train in them, you can race in them. So this is gonna be my daily trainer. I have been looking and waiting. Thank you, Shoe God. You have answered my prayers. This will be my daily trainer. I did have the Invincible 3 and that one failed on me. I didn't like how it feels. So sloppy, it's so heavy and chunky. I had problem with the heel slip, so I had to return that one, and I just waited patiently for Nike to come out with a plated daily trainer carbon training shoe, and this is it. Hopefully this is it. Now, is it gonna stay in our rotation? That's a question that we have to find out. Nike claims that this is 10% lighter than its predecessor, the Zoomfly 5. Now let's start from the top to the bottom. In terms of the upper, it is made out of this woven mesh material. In terms of breathability, it looks pretty breathable to me. I mean, it has a lot of holes, and in terms of durability, that we don't know, we have to find out. Now, the laces, it's a flat lace. It's not like the notch laces that they have on the Zoomfly or the Alpha Fly. In terms of the tongue, it is a gusseted tongue. And let's see, can we take out the insole? No, we can't. Now, in terms of the collar, it's nicely padded actually, and it's nicely soft. And then the counter is very stiff. I mean, I can't bend that. Let's actually take this out. This one's still flexible compared to like the Alpha Fly. This one is stiff, like I can't even bend it. But this one, you can bend it a little bit. So that tells me like the carbon plate is a little bit forgiving on this one. Yeah, look at that. Compared to the Alpha, can barely twist this thing. It's so hard. Now in terms of the midsole, it's composed of two foams. The first one is the top layer, like right here, is the ZoomX foam. And then on the bottom layer is the SR02 foam. It's pretty much just an EVA foam. But feeling both of the foams, it feels like the SR02 is softer than the ZoomX. And then sandwiched in between is the carbon fly plate, which you can see it's like almost like the same design with the Vaporflies. And you compare it side by side. Yeah, you can definitely tell like it's a different material of carbon. But the SR02 is really soft. Huh, interesting. Okay, now in terms of the rubber and the outsole, it is the waffle design. And it looks like it is a little bit of a harder compound or material compared to the Alphas. Yeah, so durability wise, I think it's going to be more durable and it's going to last longer than the Alpha Flies. But this cutout, I don't think we're gonna have issue with this cutout in terms of collecting any rocks or whatnot, debris on the road. Hopefully not. But the next thing we can do is we're gonna lace up this bad boy, and then we're gonna take it to the track, take it to the road, and I'm gonna give you some impression and the ride and how it handles the track and road condition, and then we'll come back in the office and then we'll give you our final input if this is gonna stay in our rotation. Let's go.
Hey. El rachetón. Vámonos, baby, vente, vámonos. Vine solo al party y me voy con dos. Hey. Vámonos, baby, vente, vámonos. Casa amigos porque no le gusta el botón. Hey. Vámonos del party porque aquí no fuman mari. Yo prendo dos churritos y me sacan vale madre. Si quieres de probar, yo te doy un poco, mami. Fumando un poco mata y nos andando Ferrari. Ella inocente pero mi cama shinari. Me dice apúrate baby, I just wanna body. Ey, vámonos baby, vente, vámonos. Vine solo al party y me voy con dos. Ey, vámonos baby, vente, vámonos. Casa amigos porque no le gusta el botón. Ey, vámonos, vámonos, vámonos. Vamos baby, lo vamos de aquí. Se sienta mi hueso en el carro, agarra el timón cause I know little baby a freak. Agarra la calle conmigo, su amiga, I use them just so I can get it for free. Me pone su historia y ahora yo tengo un poco de nena que quiere conmigo. Le digo a Harley, préstame charger cause my phone about to die. Agarro una baddie que maneje cause right now I'm way too high. Se queda conmigo por la noche, en la mañana le digo goodbye. Bitch, yeah right, you ain't spending the night. Vámonos, baby, vente, vámonos. Vine solo al party y me voy con dos. Hey, vámonos, baby, vente, vámonos. Casa amigos porque no le gusta el botón.
We are back on the studio and it's time to give you my final thoughts after putting 29 miles both on the road and on the track. I think I have a better feel on the things I like and dislike about this shoe. First, let's start about the things I like. The first thing I really like about the shoe is the double woven mesh upper. I think it's super breathable and the liner inside the shoe is very smooth and it has a little bit of give. I do have a medium to high arch narrow feet, so with this shoe I didn't have any problem with any hot spots. So for me, I like what Nike did on the Zoom Fly 6. Upper is approved. The second thing I like about this shoe is the stiff collar and stiff heel counter. If you compare this to the Alpha Fly and the Vaporfly, this has more structure in this area, and I feel like I'm getting more stability in my ankle area, especially on uneven surfaces. I also like the lining they put on the collar. It's really smooth and it's nicely padded, so it's adding a lot of comfort, especially on longer runs. I didn't have any issues with heel slipping on this shoe, although you can see there is a runner's knot. I just recently did this, not because my heel is slipping, I just wanted more security, like more tightness in this area. But other than that, I really like this part of the shoe. I think it's very comfortable. The third thing I like about this shoe is the gusseted tongue. I like that they reinforce some padding on this top area and right on the middle, and I can cinch it down a little bit without feeling any pinching on the bridge of my foot. I also don't feel any pinching or hot spot on this area, so I feel like it's hugging my foot well. I mean, there's nothing else to say other than the tongue is really nice and comfortable. Right, so the fourth thing I like about this shoe is the wider toe box area. I think that it is accommodating to most people out there. For me, I do have a narrow feet and I I like that it gives me an option to wear a thicker socks, especially during the winter time, and wearing the thicker socks can help me fill in that gaps. But if I compare this with the Alphafly or the Vaporfly, this is definitely a lot roomier compared to those two models. Midsole. Next thing I like about this shoe is the midsole. I think the combination of the ZoomX and the SRO2 is working really well. I do wonder though if this shoe will be better if they put a full ZoomX foam. Maybe we can expect that on the next version of the Zoomfly. I like the combination. It's soft and it's working well together. They're starting to do this now. I just saw the Vomero 18 where they combine the ZoomX and the React X foam. So maybe we'll see more of this combination foam in the future for Nike, but it's not really giving you that full sensation like you're stepping on clouds, but it's soft enough and comfortable enough for longer runs. So yeah, I like the midsole. Outsole. I put nearly 30 miles in this shoe, and just by looking at the outsole, I barely see any signs of wear. So durability is not even a question in my mind. I am not sure though in terms of traction, since it's been dry this past couple of days when I tested the shoe, but there is rain in the forecast, and I will report back if traction is an issue on this shoe. Other than that, outsole is really durable, so good job Nike. Now comparing the stability of the Zoomfly versus the Alphafly. The Alphafly has a 32 millimeter midfoot stack height versus the Zoomfly, which has 34 millimeter of stack height on the midfoot area. But I do feel that this one is more stable on the corners, especially when I took it to the track. Now, here's my analogy. It's not scientific, but it could be different factors. But I'm just sharing to you how I feel, why this shoe is more stable on the corners. I took this out on my track and I was holding a 650 minute-mile pace, and I was just railing that corner. Like I said, it could be different factors. It could be the midsole in combination with a little bit more flexible carbon plate. It could be the stiffer heel counter and collar. It could be a narrower landing area. So it could be so many factors, right? But for me, that's how I feel. I feel like this is definitely more stable versus the Alphafly on turns. That is it for the things I like about this shoe. Let's talk about the things I dislike about this shoe. The number one thing I dislike about this shoe is this flat laces. I mean, come on Nike, you can do better than that. You can come out with better lacing than what you provided on the Zoomfly 6. It did come undone twice during my run, so that's really annoying that I had to stop and retighten it. But I think the only solution I can think of is the notched lacing. If I can get my hands on an extra pair of those notched laces they have on the Alphafly or the Vaporfly, I think that will be really awesome to have it as a modification on this shoe. Replace this ugly flat laces and replace it with the notched laces. Another thing I dislike about this shoe is the fly plate, specifically on the right foot. I don't feel that issue on my left foot, only on the right foot. It might be a factory defect, who knows. But what I'm talking about is on the midsole, on the midfoot to forefoot area. When I start to hit the double digits, I feel that stiffness. Maybe the ZoomX foam is compressing too much, and I can feel the carbon plate, and it's giving me that sensation or feeling like I'm running barefoot. So how I was able to fix that issue is I did purchase an insole from Amazon. It's called Bryson. This is not sponsored. I will put the link on the description below, But I did try the Curix. I grabbed one from my local footwear shop. However, that didn't work out for me because it's too thick. This one is thin enough that it doesn't add too much volume in the shoe, and this fixed that issue in terms of that discomfort for me. That is it for the things I dislike about this shoe. It's very short. Now, if I'm gonna have a wish list on the next version for this shoe, the number one thing I would request is a notch lacing. Also, Nike, please don't glue your insoles. Please allow your customers to have the option to put insoles by not gluing your insole so it can be easily replaced. The third thing I would suggest is maybe a ZoomX foam, maybe a full ZoomX foam, or maybe a little bit stiffer carbon plate, because this shoe is not like Alphafly level, but it's not bad. It's missing that extra if you know what I mean. Maybe a full ZoomX foam will make a difference. Maybe a stiffer plate will make a difference. But other than that, don't change anything. I think this shoe is gonna be like up there. But that is it for my wish list. Nike came up last minute with the shoe that can compete with other super trainers in the market, and I am glad to report that this is a huge improvement compared to the previous model. I really enjoyed my first 30 miles in this shoe, and I feel like this shoe is the tame version of the Alphafly in a good way. I also think that this shoe comes alive during tempo runs, and it's comfortable on long run as well, with a slight modification of a better insole. Now, you might not have that problem. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just the shoe, but I think this shoe is a Swiss army of shoes because you can technically do all things with one pair of shoe. It does not feel as fast as Alphafly or a Vaporfly, but you can easily pick up the speed and maintain that cadence. At the same time, feel stable on uneven surfaces and on the turns. This shoe is also well cushioned with the combination foam of the ZoomX and the SR2. And for the price of $170, I think this shoe is really worth looking into. So let's wrap this up by talking about who is this shoe for. I think this shoe will be a good addition to your rotation, especially if you have an Alphafly as your racers. You can notice a few similarities in this shoe. This is also a good introduction carbon plated shoe for those who haven't tried carbon plated shoes. And of course, the most important thing, this is for those who have budget in mind but wanted a bang for your buck. This has all the characteristics of a shoe that can do it all. Now that leaves us with a big question. Will it stay in my rotation? I would say yes, 100%. I would love to put more miles in this shoe, and I can't wait to see test the durability of the shoe. And I'm just curious how this shoe will play its role, especially when Nike is about to release the Vomero 18 this coming February 2025. That is it for today. I hope you find this video helpful. If you did, I would appreciate if you give your boy a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. And as always, God bless. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.